So this is a basic chart or Lagna, D1 or Rashi chart, and this chart style is South Indian, as I had mentioned before. If you go into any website or software that offers you to check your horoscope for free, you can use your date of birth, time of birth and place of birth to obtain this chart. This is the very basic chart. This shows if the planets are placed in a strong or weak position and what the results will be. So this I'm showing for just as an example. For now, since I've covered only the very basic concepts, just trying to see whether the planets are in strong position or weak position will be more than enough in a Rashi chart. For now, let's say for example, Moon is situated in its own house, that is in its own box here, that is Cancer, so it is obviously going to be powerful. The same way we can judge all the each of the planets based on where they are situated. To understand if they are in a good position or bad position, I'll explain all the 9 planets from the upcoming videos. For now, just use this as an example to understand how a basic chart looks like. The planets may be situated here, all completely separated too. This is just as an example. Here, Rahu and Ketu are always going to be in the opposites, and they will have this small star next to them that is called retrograde. I'll explain that in the later videos because these things are very complicated. So in any chart, in whichever style of chart you use, South or North Indian, Rahu and Ketu are always going to be opposites. This is the head and this is the tail. This is always going to be, these are always going to be opposites, and the opposites will be Rahu starting with here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ketu is in the complete opposite, 7, and from Ketu Rahu will be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is how a basic chart looks like, and here time of birth is very important. Suppose someone is born at 2 o'clock 2 minutes at noon, so that becomes 14 hours 2 minutes. Now people tend to round it off by saying 2 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the noon or 2 o'clock 5 minutes in the noon or something like that. Instead, trying to be as accurate as possible when it comes to time is very important, because small variations of time can change many things. It may not change in this chart, but it will change in the more detailed and more complex charts, which I'll explain later. And even the time, why it matters so much, I'll explain in the future videos, because if I do now, that will be very complex and complicated, and you might simply get confused. That's why just trying to be as accurate as possible with regard to time is important. So, and ignore these numbers for now. I'll explain the concept regarding these numbers. These numbers are called houses. In a South Indian chart, these numbers represent house, not Rashi. In a North Indian chart, these numbers represent Rashis. So that's why trying to stick to one style of chart is very important. I prefer South Indian chart. I feel this is very simple and straightforward compared to the North Indian one. That's why I'm showing the South Indian chart. Suppose you see any diamond shaped chart, like let's say in this shape, on any website or software. This is a North Indian chart. This is how this will be the outermost box in a North Indian chart. Here in South Indian chart, it is always represented in a proper square. So this is a South Indian chart, and to obtain it you need date of birth, time of birth and place of birth. And this chart, this particular chart is Rashi chart or Lagna chart or D1 chart. There are many more charts which I'll explain one after the other when I feel it's right to go into those charts. For now, to keep things as simple and as easy as possible, just try to open your own chart and see where your planets are situated. Yeah, I think this much is enough. From the next videos, I will cover each planet's representation or signification, which is very important. Once you understand that, then I'll go into the concept of houses, and I'll explain what each of these numbers represent. These numbers represent a completely different thing compared to these boxes or rashis. So for now, this is just a simple basic chart or Lagna chart, D1 chart or Rashi chart.